It is Friday, November 7th, the day before one of the biggest games in BYU football history. I am Jarom Jordan in Provo, Utah. He is Spencer Linton, who is a Lubbock TripAdvisor editor now online. Congratulations.
Yeah. Listen, I spent about, I don't know, since we got in last night, it's been roughly 12 hours, so I have the city on lockdown, Jarom. I'd be happy to give tours, guides, especially across campus. I've got your weather report. It's just a glorious fall situation for football. Right now, temperatures in the high 60s, floating into the low 70s. It's a little breezy. Should be similar for tomorrow. Cannot beat this for college football. I will say this, Lubbock is just a little bit different than Las Vegas, where we were earlier this week.
Yeah, it has been a busy week in that regard. Much more coming up from Lubbock. Let's go. All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
BYU has a really good chance. With the bye week, guys coming back healthy, I think anything's possible.
This might be the biggest game in BYU football history. Let's go.
Regardless of how the game starts, this team is not going to panic.
If BYU does not win, it does not invalidate 8 wins. They'll have a chance to prove themselves. Oh, game day for Cougar football ahead of BYU and Texas Tech. Number 7 Cougars, number 8 Red Raiders. Noon Eastern on ABC with College Game Day going. Of course, BYUSN Game Day at 10 a.m. bright and early Eastern time, 2 hours of goodness, and on BYU Radio. Cougars 10.5-point underdog. So, give me 3 keys to win for BYU, Spence.
Jarom, I'm guessing that we're going to have some crossover here because great minds think alike. But I'll start with this. Number 1, ball security. I feel like BYU has to be even in the turnover margin or better to have any legitimate chance of winning this game as a 10.5-point underdog on the road. So it starts with protecting the ball. Jacob Rodriguez, amazing All-American linebacker, and that defensive crew for Texas Tech, it really is wreck 'em by the Tech. They punch the ball out so hard. They are ball hawks. It's wild. BYU's got to be extra careful to take care of the ball tomorrow. On offense, I feel like in some capacity, BYU has to run the ball effectively enough to set up the play action where Bear Bachmeier and that Cougar offense has been so effective. Now, let's define effectively running the ball against Texas Tech because they're giving up 75 yards of rushing per game on average. That is insane. Best in the country. BYU's rushing for 216 per game. So can BYU, I don't know, run for at least 125 between LJ Martin and Bear Bachmeier just to keep Texas Tech's defense honest so that they can have an effective play action game? And then third, it is third down defense, the power of threes there. Texas Tech is converting third downs at about a 50% clip. BYU giving up first downs on third down at about 32%. So can BYU win that battle, Jarom? Can they get off the field on third down and force that really, really talented Texas Tech offense to punt the ball away? So watch out for third down defense. Maybe it's, can BYU hold Texas Tech to under 40% third down conversion rate? I think that would be a win for BYU. Those are my 3 keys. What would you add to the conversation?
Number 1, positive turnover margin, as you mentioned. Same idea. BYU's plus 10 in margin. That's tied for 4th in the country. They're one of the best in the country. Texas Tech has 20 takeaways. That's 2nd in the nation. Take care of the rock. Bear Bachmeier has done a really nice job of doing that. But the defense has to create, Spence, I think 2 or 3 takeaways. Also, clean play in that Texas Tech has 5 blocked punts. 5! Cannot have some special teams gaffe. In fact, special teams might need to make a play in this. Number 2, score 24 plus. We've talked about that Bronco Mendenhall number. I bring that up because there's only one team that has scored 24 plus against Texas Tech, and that is the one loss. It was Arizona State. It was Sam Levitt.
Yeah.
Again, Will Hammond was there for Texas Tech. The committee actually mentioned that they don't ding Texas Tech because they understand it was the backup. Baron Morton was not in that game. Baron Morton versus Bear Bachmeier. Fun matchup there. And within that sub-key of kind of score 24 plus, I agree with you. I actually think 150. I know they only give up 75, but I have a hard time feeling like BYU runs for 100-ish yards and wins. Are they going to have to just throw a bunch? I think if Texas Tech gets the chance on 3rd and long consistently, and BYU can't run on 1st and 2nd down, and they can pin their ears back with Lee Hunter as a D tackle, and off the edges, you have Romello Height and David Bailey coming after you. It's a good challenge for a very good BYU offensive line, and then Jacob Rodriguez can blitz or he can sit back, and if you catch it, he's still going to try and punch it out. Texas Tech has a very good defense. Key number 3, red zone defense. This might be the best thing BYU does, Spence, that we haven't talked about. 6th in the country. And again, Utah not kicking field goals is part of that, them going for it and BYU stopping them. But BYU allows only 69% of scores inside the 20. If Texas Tech drives and they get inside the 20, can BYU force them to kick some field goals? The kicker for Texas Tech, by the way, only one of 4 dudes that has 2 55-plus yard field goals. So they can kick from distance. They don't have to necessarily get inside the 20. But those are 3 keys. There are a million things we could talk about this game, but I want to emphasize this point. To beat Texas Tech on the road would be way better than what BYU did at SMU. There's similarities there. It's in Texas. You're a double-digit dog, all that stuff. You don't have to play perfectly. You just need to play better than the other team that day. Remember when BYU beat number 1 Gonzaga to end the regular season with Eric Mika and TJ Haws and Nick Emery? They trailed that game 16-2. You don't have to play
18-2.
18-2.
It was 18-2.
You don't have to play perfectly. You just have to play better than they do on the day. And I think in margin and running the ball and actually scoring, I don't think BYU can win if they score 17. They have to get into the mid to high 20s. And I can't wait, man. This is going to be a massively important matchup for BYU.
How often are we saying 1st to 24 wins the game? So I'm glad you brought up the 24 number. I don't feel like BYU can score 24 points if they lose the turnover margin. Everything's intertwined. Yeah. It's going to be such an entertaining game. The buildup already has made this an epic and really unprecedented buildup to any game that BYU has played in recent memory. I love it. Okay, so speaking of that, this is a college football playoff type game, Jarom. It is number 7 versus number 8. This is the type of game that BYU would have if they were in the bracket of all brackets. But my question is here, does BYU have to win this game to make the college football playoff, or do you feel like there's an alternate path in for the Cougars?
Definitely an alternate path. What can't happen is BYU gets blown out, and then they lose another game, and they lose a tiebreaker, or they win a tiebreaker, and then they lose the Big 12 title game. You have to go and compete well, and if you don't win, it needs to be close. Again, BYU's only lost the last 4 games. They've lost by 1 score, combined 23 points. They've competed really well if they haven't won, and they've won a lot, 19-2 the last 21 games. But BYU could lose this game, win the next 3, and then they're in Arlington. That much is clear. What we can't have is last year. You go 2-2, you split, you lose a tiebreaker, you're not in Arlington. We don't want that. So if you win tomorrow, unbelievable. BYU's going to do it. It's a different 9-0 than last year. It's a different kind of win. You might be 5th in the country or 6th coming up Tuesday night. But a top 10 win on the road would be amazing. Vegas is screaming at us, by the way, that BYU is going to get destroyed in this game. And we refuse to believe it.
Yeah.
We believe BYU will compete in this game, and if they don't win, it's a close loss. But if they do win, it's on like Donkey Kong. Let's go. But there is a path. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, there are alternate paths for BYU to get into the college football playoff. Obviously, if BYU beats Texas Tech in Lubbock, they're the clear best team in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Now Texas Tech has 2 losses. BYU is in firm control of their destiny to get to Arlington rather, and be in the college football playoff. But if they lose this game and they are quote unquote competitive, yeah, it's okay. BYU still controls their own destiny. Have to take care of business with home games against TCU and UCF, and then there's a big game at Cincinnati. Certainly help to get the Texas Tech win so that you can have room for maybe a slip-up moving forward. But there are plenty of paths for BYU right now, and that's a credit to the Cougars at 8-0 at this point, coming out their second bye week. It's huge that they've already progressed to this point.